morning, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Daily Video Diary. How's it going today? It's not the morning, well it is, but it's not today's morning. I haven't vlogged today, I apologise in advance. So let's do a roundup of the day, shall we? Today I woke up at a normal time. Laura went before me to go for a run, but woke up at a normal time and headed on. Was that this morning? I think it was this morning. Yeah, it was. Got ready and all that kind of good stuff and headed on into work. Got there like kind of just on time, so I didn't vlog in the car like I sometimes do. Today at work I've been trying to deal with Security 2. I'm working on OAuth. I always want to say AAuth. It's not OAuth. OAuth 2. Which was interesting, and I got it working and it's given me tokens, but it won't accept the token. And I think I was like trying to debug this towards the end of the day. I think that I've got some kind of setting that I'm defending against, and I should open it up in this one way to allow these tokens through. But I've just got to figure out what that is. And then I also think I've got a dependency issue for the next thing because I've got someone else who's caught up with me was able to help me. Otherwise, spent a decent amount of time talking. This is like stand-up, isn't it? It's like scrum time. Spent a decent amount of time trying to help my friend Tom, who was struggling with some Git stuff because he made the mistake of making a load of changes and then trying to create a branch instead of creating a branch, then trying to rebase, and whew, it turned nasty quick. So that was fun. Otherwise, I came home and I was like, this is why I didn't vlog, sorted out my video and stuff, and you know when you just feel like I've been fighting that this evening, so I haven't really been that productive. But what have I been doing for my own projects and stuff like that? That has been a whale of a time, to be honest with you. I have been working hard because I've been trying to wrap my head around this Fluent API thing. And I went to bed last night thinking I'd figured it out, woke up this morning, didn't think I did. So I went back to the drawing board before I went to work. Got to work at lunchtime, I started to write it, like develop it, and then I was like, no, I don't think I understand this properly, so I went back to the drawing board, came back home, back to the drawing board, and then this evening after dinner I sat and I made the API, and it's really cool. I've never made one of them before, and it's really cool in like certain scenarios and stuff. It's quite limited. Well, it's not limited. It's like if using some kind of abstract factory or factory doesn't quite fit, then you can use this and it works really, really well. Basically, I have a class called Solution Information Builder, which implements two different interfaces. The first interface is like Fluent, I don't know the names, but the first interface essentially has build using, its method is build using the second, and that returns the second interface. So this class has two interfaces. You like take the main one so that you can only call build using. Then when you call build using, it returns the second interface, which it also implements. So it returns itself, but it opens up the next interface. The next interface says has methods on it called and using x and using y. So you can set the variables x and y using that method. And then at the very end it has the factory. So both of that interface implements the factory interface, which basically just creates the object, and then it uses the information that it's been given over time to generate what it needs to generate, which is better because originally what I've had is factories which you give it information, it uses that information to produce an object. The problem I have at this precise moment in time is I have a file directory that I want to get information from, and I also have information that's given by the user which can help my program find that information. So there's a lot of like info there and it's all coming from different sources, and it's a bit of a pain in the arse. So instead of having all of that collated into a DTO, in which case, how do you build that DTO, and passed in, I can go, hey, build this using this directory. If that's the directory you're going to search through. Oh, and in this scenario, the user has given us this, and the user has given us that. Now create it. Or you could go, using this file directory, they've given us this. Create it. Or you could go, they've given us, using this directory, the users haven't given us anything, just build. So fucking cool. And it's an idea, I've seen it before, I've never known how to build it myself. Because obviously things like nsubstitute use it. It's quite a common thing in Java, it's not that common in C# yet. But I was reading up on a lot of blogs today by John Skeet, because I remember the Google man, when we went to that Google talk, I remember him talking about like the lengths they go to in order to ensure backward compatibility. Because this kind of stuff, you can't just add this information into a constructor. I could just pass all this information into constructors, but then if I were to change a constructor in any way, then things would break. I could have getters and setters, but then I lose immutability, and then like that's not good. So it was really interesting, like going through all these blog things. I felt like I've solved a problem today. But anyway, once I got that sorted, I chilled with Laura for a bit. We watched Stranger Things. Yeah, Stranger Things, and we watched the news and stuff. Laura then went to bed, and I went back into the office. And I'm still a bit like, but I got the implementation running. I have it so that I've got quite a lot to build in the background here. I'm acutely aware of the fact that because it's better designed, I'm acutely aware of how much more modular everything is now. The first time I designed it was quite like, this is the way it works. Now it's being a lot more like, it's got abstract stuff in it, it's really clever in several places, and I've like refactored things as I go, and I'm like 315 unit tests at the moment. Again, I've only got like one arm of my program, which isn't good. It's quite heavy on the old stuff, to be honest with you, with the old unit tests, because it's like so modular and things. I think as well because of my DTOs, they've like added a considerable amount. But I'm trying to gauge at what point I overtake my old project, and I think it's going to be at the compilation stage, which is next. And then I'm going to overtake my old project, and then well, that's how it's done. Yeah, I'm going to overtake my old project, and that's just going to be left for toffee as I ramp up. I can't remember how many unit tests I've got in the old project actually. I've got like 800. Oh, no, I'll hit 500 by the end of compilation, definitely. I might hit 400 by the end of this one. Anyway, so I had myself a cup of tea. I was like, I can't really be bothered, and then I'm like, let's just fucking do it, Jamie. So I had myself a cup of tea, sat down and did some work. And it's been good. I'm now heading to bed. It is, like I say, it's just gone 1 o'clock. And yes, today even, is Friday. Yeah. I believe, assuming the weather's nice, and I don't think it is going to be nice, we have a team pub lunch, but if not, then I will be doing some programming. I'm now at the moment writing things that let me search through file directories, and trying to do that in a nice tested way. But yeah, I'm really, like, to the point where I'm looking back through my old code and I'm like, that is bad, man. Like, it just says like get file name, and it's just not, it's not great. I think it's using defaults from the, I honestly don't know. Like, it looks like it should just fail. But I'm not opening it in Visual Studio, I'm opening it in like text editors and stuff. But yeah, so I'll be doing that. I've got like a number of things on the to-do list that I want to tick off programming wise by the end of tomorrow. Because that's what I need to do now. I just need to crack the whip on myself and just get shit done. But yeah, I'm super happy with my Fluent things today. I don't think, the only thing I'm not happy about is the naming convention because there isn't a naming convention, is it took me the longest amount of time just to figure out what to call all of these things and all these different interfaces and stuff. And at this precise moment in time, I'm not happy with it, but I also don't think it's going to be repeated for the rest of the program. I doubt this problem is going to come up again. Like, I'm trying to remember ahead. If it does, then I might revisit it and try and make it a little bit more generic and more reusable. But until then, red, green, refactor and all that, I am going to head off to bed. Thank you very much for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. I apologise, it's a bit devy and a bit boring, but that's life. Tomorrow, like I say, work. Then it's the weekend. Yeah, we're going shopping again. But we're going everywhere. We're going like to different cities to go shopping because it's important. I'll catch you later.